Welcome to Leo, Loan Express Originator. During this microlearning video, we will cover Step 2, using services to run credit in AUS. Now let's turn it over to Derek.
It's time to run credit and it's time to run AUS. Let's jump into it. Once you're ready to run credit in AUS, you're going to come down here to the Services tab. If you expand on it, you'll notice that credit and AUS are referenced therein. Alternatively, you can also come up to the top to what we call the progress bar and select either one of these here as well. Let's start with credit. When we go into credit, it's going to open up to a very basic page with a button that says either pull individual or pull joint, depending on the number of borrowers you have on your loan. Don't worry, when you click pull, it's not going to automatically pull the credit report. So go ahead and click that button. It's going to open up a secondary section. Notice there is a credit vendor dropdown. From here, you're going to select your credit vendor, which should be stored under your user profile. If you do not see your credit provider here, please reference our job aid for establishing or setting up your user credentials, including credit and AUS credentials. Once you've selected the appropriate credit provider, if you wish to just pull a new report, you would pull credit. If you want to reissue credit, there is a section for that. You're going to slide this radial button to the right. You're going to put in your reference number and you're going to click reissue credit. Regardless of whether you're pulling a new report or reissuing an existing report, once Leo has communicated with your credit vendor, we're going to pull that information in and you'll get all three of your credit report scores with your mid score highlighted in green, making it easy for you to identify and verify that the appropriate credit information has been provided. Now that our credit has come back, you'll notice we have our mid score in green as mentioned. You also have access to a PDF of your credit report if you need to view it. That can be found here as well as here. And there's also an additional section called Credit Report History, where you can also find a copy here. Now that we have credit in the file, let's dig into AUS. I'm simply going to come back over to my left-hand navigation, click on AUS. This is going to open up our dual AUS screen. For you, the average user, you're just going to come down here to the bottom and hit Run Dual AUS. That's going to allow you to pull both DU and LP simultaneously, and you'll get your results side by side as well, giving you the opportunity to compare your findings and determine which you would prefer. In this video, I'm just going to run DU to give you an idea of what that looks like when it returns. So if I simply click Run DU, it's going to communicate to the DO or Fannie Mae database and provide my results. Once my results are here, you'll notice I show my last run. Also, I have my case file ID and my credit reference number. I also have a history here where I can see the run history if I want. If I scroll down, you can see my results are highlighted here with a date stamp and a timestamp. It does give me my findings as approve eligible in this case. Down below, you'll notice it says the appraisal is not waived. And these three bottom validations can be ignored because we have not yet received your file to validate that information. Here at the bottom is actually where you'll find your findings. If I click on the PDF or the HTML, it will open up to my findings that I can then scroll through for any additional conditions or messaging that might pertain to my loan. Now let's say that I want to rerun this. Maybe I've run it once. I look at my history and I notice I've only run it once, but I want to run it again. Maybe something's changed. In that case, I'm going to come down here to the settings cog. Notice the credit provider information is at the top. We will leave that untouched. We will have to reissue credit every time we attempt to rerun DU. Down below is the DU section. Notice it is already set to resubmit. What you want to do here is you want to take out the case file ID and simply hit Run DU. And that will give you a secondary run that you will be able to see in your history. So as we come over to our history, notice we have our run at 3:05 and a subsequent run at 3:08. Similar to LP, if I had run LP, I would come in, I would run LP, but if I needed to do a second or third run of LP, I would remove the LPA key number, and I would also remove the loan product ID if it was present prior to hitting Run LPA. And that is how you use services to run credit and AUS.
Thanks, Derek, and thank you for viewing this training. If you have any questions, please reach out to our TPO support team at tposupport@prmg.net.